I am an enchanter.
By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Greetings, Tim the Enchanter.
Hey, welcome back, folks. The Ray Lucia Show. Timothy Morton in the house from Westland Financial. Hello there, Tim.
Hey, Ray. Nice to be back.
Thanks for joining me on the program. I'm sure you heard my little monologue there, talking about indexed universal life and how this fella has written this article, which is about 80% spot on and about 20% not so much. However, and you're an expert in this field, and we're going to get to Jay in Sacramento because he's got a question about long-term care, and you can help me with that. But when we come back from the call, I'd like you to sort of comment on the overfunded index universal life, and I'll tell you about some of the complaints I have with this particular article. But for the most part, I think he's spot on. So stick around, 844-RAY Show. If you want to talk about this, there are a lot of folks out there that could benefit by adding some kind of a permanent life insurance policy to their retirement mix. But you got to know what you're doing. We're talking to Pastula and yesterday, as a matter of fact, and that was the problem that he brought up. Is one of the reasons why people don't do this stuff is because it's complicated and it's hard for them to understand. But when you have Timothy in the house, you can hopefully make some sense for us. But in the meantime, let's see if we can get a call in. Jay in Sacramento. Hello, Jay. How you doing? Hello, Jay. How you doing? Do we still have Jay? Jay going once. It's interesting. Is his question? I don't know. They're talking to him on the phone. But I know what his question was. His long-term care insurance policy premium jumped by 60%. Do we have Jay now?
I bought it in 2003 when I was 61 and my wife was 59. It's a joint policy. We had $170 a day daily benefit. She gets 2 years, I get 2 years. And my policy premium has been $3,200, approximately $3,200 a year, and it's been pretty steady until this year, when the company. Can I mention the company or no?
No, let's leave the company name out there, bud.
Oh, okay, all right, no problem. So the company sent me a letter saying that they are going to increase the premium by 60%. It's going to go from $3,200 to $5,000 and change. So significant increase.
All right, let me ask you a question. Hang on. I got it.
Over the last, from 2002 to now.
Okay, hang on. Can you bring up his volume a little bit? I can't hear him.
My daily benefit has changed now up to $291 a day.
Okay, that's the question I was going to ask. Please, Jay, stop.
Compounded
Stop,
annually.
Jay. This is not the Jay Talk Show. Thank you. Stop. I need to ask a couple of questions, all right? I get it. I've heard this question like 1,000 times before, and I have a really smart guy with me. So your daily benefit, I just heard, has grown to $291 per day, and your premiums have jumped by 60%. And the reason that the premiums have jumped is the actuaries and the morbidity tables are basically saying there's a very high likelihood that somebody at your age is going to use this benefit for you and or your wife. Now, assuming this is a highly rated company, my advice, and I'm going to turn this over to Tim Morton, who has clearly more expertise in this field than I do, but my advice is you got a pretty good deal for a number of years, and right now all they're doing is leveling the playing field. But Tim, if you went out today to buy a $300 per day benefit, he's probably going to spend for he and his wife at their age groups in the, I think he said 70-ish,
Right.
A lot more than $5,000.
Correct, right. You know, and that's what you have to do. And we probably get this question 2-3 times a week. So we're always looking at these types of issues where people get a premium increase and ask, should we continue? And obviously you can shop the case today based on your current health. Maybe if you have current health problems, then
forget about it.
You're going to have something in place. The other thing you might look at, just as a replacement alternative, but maybe an asset-based choice. If you have a lot of other assets that are just sitting idle, then maybe you can put those to work for you in a better way. But for the most part, even with the rate increases, it's almost, I'd say about 90% of the time we recommend that they continue with the current policy and plan.
He's got a pretty good COLA. I mean, the thing went from $170 a day to $291 a day. Jay, if you want to save some money, then there are a couple of things you can do with this existing policy. And I'll get your info and have you speak with Tim off the air. But just off the top of my head, number one is, let's say you've got a 5% compounded COLA, cost of living adjustment. That means his daily benefits going up every year by 5%. If you cut that COLA down to 3%, the premium's going to be cut, I don't know about substantially, but it'll be several $100s per year. You could also reduce the benefit, increase waiting periods. So if you can't afford the $5,000 a year, and you'd like to spend closer to $4,000 or $4,200 or whatever the number is, the insurance company or someone like Tim can work with that insurance company, because I suspect, I mean, you guys have contracts with all the biggies, right?
Exactly. We do exactly that. If they couldn't afford the new premium, then you negotiate with the current carrier and say, what can you afford, and let's get something that's appropriate.
I would say that in a place like Sacramento, $290 a day in daily benefit is very, very healthy. And he could afford, I suspect he's got a 5% COLA, that he could drop that and drop some of that premium. Jay, I'll tell you what, buddy, you stick around, get Jay's info. I'll have him talk with Tim off the air. And Tim, you don't charge people to do this stuff, do you?
Not at all.
Because if you did, I'd have to put a contract out on you. Not my listeners.
Just so people know, I have the exact same issue in our family. So
that's
my wife and I, we have a long-term care policy.
You're the blonde-haired, blue-eye Dago from San Diego, as they say.
But we did have a 40% increase, and after my analysis, obviously it was a much better deal to continue to pay the current increased premium.
So your policy got increased.
Sure.
How have I dodged that bullet? I've had a policy for the last 7-8 years, and I have not received a penny increase. And so my premiums for Jeannie and myself, preferred, we did get preferred, that was before my heart condition, thankfully. There's only like $4,000 a year, and my benefit right now is about $230 a day. You like that?
That's solid.
That is solid. So hopefully I won't get a rate increase. Okay, let's digress back to the topic of the day, which is whether or not individuals should consider using some form of a permanent life insurance policy as part and parcel of their retirement plan. Now, before the break, I said not everybody should do this, but if you're in a high tax bracket, you have excess cash flow and good job stability. You don't want to start this and stop it, right? High tax bracket, job stability, et cetera, and there's some need for the death benefit, then doggone it, this can make a lot of sense if you use some kind of an index UL as part of the retirement plan. So we're going to take a quick break, and I will let you talk about that. I'm sorry it was the Jay talk show there for a while. Jay was just taking over the show.
No problem. We'll get to it.
All right. Otherwise, I got another hour or two. You can stick around and co-host the whole doggone thing with me.
You and Jay.
My Sicilian brother here. Don't go away. 844 Ray Show. Tim Morton and me next.